any help from you, we have to take your name.
No, no, you can just say things, and there's this private chat, so you
Oh,
can type, and all three of us can see. And with this, I have to tell you that we are live.
okay. Hello there, everyone. This is Ajmi Shahar from Startup Grind Abbottabad. You have seen me a lot on Startup Grind Abbottabad chapter, and I'm honored कि मैंने हमेशा इस chapter के ऊपर बहुत सी amazing खवातीन को host किया. And today I have another amazing lady with me, Sundas. Hello, Sundas. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
वालेकुम सलाम बिल्कुल ठीक आप कैसी हैं सहर
Alhamdulillah, मैं भी ठीक ठाक. How things are in San Francisco?
I'm actually based in Seattle. Things are there are two things going on right now. One is COVID, the other is like Black Lives Matter. Things are not okay, but hopefully it will be better soon. Yeah, how are things on your side?
It's quite terrible, but like yes, we are hoping for the best. Inshallah.
Inshallah, inshallah.
Okay, let's start our chat. Like, I just want to start this chat. Like, who is Sundas for Sundas?
Cool. Are you asking me? Who is
Yes,
Sundas?
yes, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
awesome. Cool. Yeah, I can do a quick introduction of myself. Hi, everybody. I am Sundas Khalid. I am a senior analytical lead at Google here based in Seattle. I just started Google about 6 months ago. Before Google, I was working at Amazon as a data scientist, and I was there for about 6 years. And my expertise are in data science, experimentation, and advertisement and large-scale analytics. So just going a little bit more back, who Sundas is, I live in Seattle with my husband and 2 kids. My daughter is 14 and my son is 12. So I moved to USA in 2004, so about like 16 years ago. I'm originally from Faisalabad, Pakistan. I grew up there. I'm the eldest of 5 siblings. And my story is pretty unique in the sense that I am the first female in my family to graduate university and pursue a career. And that's something that I'm really, really proud of. And yeah, I'm really excited to be here. I am passionate about, I'm an advocate of diversity and inclusion. And I'm always looking to participate in events like these or through my own network. So thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it will be an honor to have you. Thank you so much for you to be here for us. Like you said, you are the first woman from your family. So, what was the motivation behind that you pursue your career in higher education?
Yeah, I can tell you a little bit details. So in my family, girls don't pursue higher education. Basically, most of the girls end up getting married after high school, and that's what happened to me. I was still in high school when I got married. Like high school, I'm saying like in USA terms, but in Pakistan, वो ICOM होता है और like पहले मैट्रिक होता है, मैट्रिक के बाद ICOM होता है. तो मुझे शुरू से ही पढ़ने का बहुत शौक था. Like I was really good in studies. मेरा nickname था professor. my mamus would call me professor क्योंकि मैं पढ़ती रहती थी और चुप रहती थी. तो वो मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा appreciate करते कि बहुत अच्छी है, बहुत चुप रहती है, बस पढ़ती रहती है, अपने आप में रहती है. तो मुझे शुरू से ही पढ़ने का शौक था. तो in like मेरा secretly मेरा dream था कि I'll be a professor and have a career. But फिर जो फैमिली में था, शादी हो गई और फिर उसके बाद मैं यूएसए मूव हो गई. अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह 2 बच्चे हुए. जिंदगी इट वाज ग्रेट, एवरीथिंग वाज ग्रेट. फिर जब मेरा बेटा हुआ, जो मेरा सेकंड जो प्रेगनेंसी थी, उसमें आई गॉट really really sick. I was in the hospital for a couple of weeks. And that was the time I thought कि I अब नहीं बचना क्योंकि it was like a critical condition. तो जब मैं फिर हॉस्पिटल में थी, वहां मैं एक तो कोई आ नहीं सकता था, जा नहीं सकता था, अकेले बैठ के तो हर वक्त सोचते रहना कि क्या करना है क्या करना है. So that was the time I decided कि if I make it out of this hospital, if I get better, I'm gonna go back to school and I'm gonna pursue my education. I'm gonna finish my education and then I'm gonna pursue a career. So that's what I did after getting alhamdulillah, I got better. I got out of the hospital, and then I started at a community college. I took online classes, और मेरा बेटा अभी 6 महीने का था when I started. So I like that 2 years I took community college classes, and then I transferred to University of Washington, and then University of Washington in Paris I actually got that support system of people around me who kind of guided me. And eventually that led to an internship at Amazon, and now I'm working at Google, which was I never would have thought in my million years, 20 years ago, that I'd be working at Google. So that's something that I'm personally very, very proud of. So it's been a long journey, um, but you know, they say like everything happens for a reason. So but now I look back and I think like, okay, I almost died, but there was a reason behind it because I was going to live this life. So alhamdulillah.
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह।
Yeah.
यू हैव चोज़न डाटा साइंस, सो आपको हमेशा से पता था कि आपने इसी फ़ील्ड में आना है, या आपने बाद में किसी स्टेज पे किसी वजह से ये चीज़ डिसाइड की?
या मुझे एक्चुअली टेक का बिल्कुल नहीं पता था। मेरे घर में कंप्यूटर भी नहीं होता था। भाई के पास एक कंप्यूटर होता था, पर वो भी मुझे कभी यूज़ करना नहीं आया, तो आई नेवर न्यू कि टेक भी एक फ़ील्ड है। तो उसके बाद जब मैंने स्टडीज़ करना शुरू की, तो स्टडीज़ भी मैंने बिज़नेस में की है। मेरा मेरा पूरा प्रोग्राम था अकाउंटिंग में। मैंने जो कम्युनिटी कॉलेज में क्लासेस ली, मेरी अकाउंटिंग में 4.0 आई, तो उसके बाद मैंने लगा अच्छा दिस इज़ परफेक्ट, मैं इतनी अच्छी हूँ इसके अंदर, तो आई एम गोना लाइक कंटिन्यू। तो फिर मैंने बिज़नेस स्कूल एडमिशन लिया। तो बिज़नेस स्कूल में व्हाट दे डू इज़ के वो आपको कहते हैं कि हर सब्जेक्ट के अंदर क्लासेस लो। तो उसमें से एक क्लास जो थी वो इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम्स थी, वो डेटा साइंस के बारे में थी। और मैंने वो क्लास ली, तो उसके बाद आई जस्ट फेल इन लव विद इट। तो फिर मैंने इंटर्नशिप की। इंटर्नशिप का मसला ये था कि डेटा साइंस उस वक्त इतनी पॉपुलर नहीं थी। तो अमेजोन में जब मैं इंटर्नशिप ढूंढ रही थी, तो मुझे डेटा साइंस की इंटर्नशिप नहीं मिली। तो उन्होंने मुझे कहा कि फाइनेंशियल एनालिस्ट इंटर्नशिप है, वो बिल्कुल डेटा साइंस की तरह है। तो वो मैंने की। इट वाज 8 मंथ्स लॉन्ग। तो ड्यूरिंग दैट इंटर्नशिप आई एक्चुअली रियलाइज के data science is exactly like I want to go more into databases. So after that internship, like I did really well in that internship, even though that was a slightly more like finance focused. I got the highest score out of all the interns. जितने 40 interns थे in that cohort, और वो भी सारे Ivy Leagues के school से थे। तो तो but I was like नहीं, मैंने data science में जाना है। मैंने technical like I want to change my career track to more tech focused. तो उसके बाद मैंने इंटर्नशिप खत्म की। 3 महीने रहते थे मेरे यूनिवर्सिटी के ग्रेजुएट होने में। तो इट वाज टू लेट कि मैं अपना मेजर अब चेंज करती। तो पर मैंने क्लासेस आउटसाइड ऑफ बिजनेस स्कूल मैंने लेनी शुरू कर दी। तो उसके बाद मैंने जो क्लासेस ली, उन्होंने मुझे इतना प्रिपेयर कर दिया कि एक जो टेक्निकल इंटरव्यू है ना, वो मुझसे पास हो गया था। तो फिर उसके बाद अमेजोन में ही मैंने 3 टीम्स के अंदर इंटरव्यू दिए, और eventually like I ended up getting offers from all of them, and I started as a data engineer, और उस वक्त data science की job family नहीं होती थी Amazon में भी। So I worked as a data engineer. I learned mostly on the job. फिर 2 साल के बाद I was like okay, I need to like go get more into like data analysis. उसके बाद मैंने टीम चेंज की, और वो जो टीम थी that was amazing for me. मेरा जो मैनेजर था, he was a great mentor, and उस टीम के अंदर I transitioned to become a data scientist. For me, like while I was learning, I realized like this is exactly what I want to do. So that was kind of like my journey to becoming a self-taught data scientist. And then when eventually the data science job family जब Amazon में आई, तो फिर मेरे मैनेजर ने मुझे और मेरे 2 और टीममेट्स थे, तो हम तीनों को माय मैनेजर ने ना डेटा साइंटिस्ट की जॉब फैमिली में कन्वर्ट कर दी। So that took about like 3 years to transition. But I love it so far. I have like a love and hate relationship with data science job family, but it's been great. It's more love.
Oh, it's okay. You have made it clear. My next question will be why you are calling it love and hate relationship with data science.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. एक तो मसला मसले अब मैं मसले बताने लगी हूँ। So basically data science is a new job family. जैसे आप सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर की जॉब फैमिली को कहते हैं ना, वो खासी डेवलप्ड है, एंड उसका कोई स्टैंडर्ड है लाइक अक्रॉस डिफरेंट इंडस्ट्रीज एंड डिफरेंट कंपनीज। नाउ डेटा साइंस में ये मसला है कि आपका जो जो इट्स नॉट स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड। कोई बंदा डेटा एनालिस्ट होता है, वो अपने आप को, वो कंपनी उसको डेटा साइंटिस्ट कहती है। कोई लाइक पीएचडी मशीन लर्निंग साइंटिस्ट होता है, तो वो डेटा साइंस। सो देयर इज लाइक नो स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन कि डेटा साइंस है क्या। मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल दूंगी। तो फेसबुक है, फेसबुक में जो डेटा साइंटिस्ट है, they call it data scientist, but it's mostly like more like data analyst kind of role. And then Google, when you're talking about a data scientist at Google, they're mostly like PhD graduates in like either machine learning or statistics. So there is like no standardization. So that makes it hard. And especially with the job family being new, it makes it hard to kind of like grow in the field, क्योंकि डेटा साइंस अब न्यूली इंट्रोड्यूस हुई है, कोई मतलब हायर लेवल पे आप देख नहीं रहे किसी को, कोई रोल मॉडल नहीं है आपके कि अच्छा ये बंदा डेटा साइंटिस्ट था, अब ये पूरी और का डायरेक्टर है या वीपी बन गया है. तो ऐसे इतने रोल मॉडल्स नहीं है, तो दैट मेक्स इट अ लिटिल बिट चैलेंजिंग एंड इट आल्सो मेक्स इट अ लिटिल बिट हार्ड कि अब आप करंटली इस कंपनी में डेटा साइंटिस्ट के लिए काम कर रहे हो, पर आपकी ऑप्शंस क्या है अगर आपने बाहर जाना है तो क्योंकि जो उसकी डेफिनेशन है इट्स नॉट स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड.
So you have worked with Amazon and you are working with Google as well. So आप उनके जो work environment and culture के बारे में कुछ कहना चाहेंगी, बताना चाहेंगी लोगों को कि how they are treating you. And another part of this question is you are the only woman in your family who has pursued this career. So कभी deep inside you have felt any fear कि नहीं, how you have built that confidence उस fear को beat करने के लिए. So आपने इन सारी चीज़ों को किस तरीके से cope किया?
Yeah, definitely. I'll answer your second question first. I think is your word I've used, करना चाह रही हूँ, it's called imposter syndrome. So imposter syndrome, basically, a lot of the times आपको लगता है कि you are not qualified for something, but you just happen to be there by accident or by luck. And yeah, I had my fair share, like going through imposter syndrome. Like one is because मेरी family में I was the first woman to kind of have a career. So I didn't have role models like growing up or like even after that. Oh, and then I went into the technical field, which is kind of male dominated field. And when we're talking about like data science, uske andar bhi it's like so brand new that there is not a lot of role models there. So a lot of the times I felt like acha, I just got lucky. I'm just lucky to be here. There was one time when I entered a meeting room where I was supposed to present in front of my seniors, like, और मैं इतनी नर्वस थी और मुझे लग रहा था कि they are gonna find out any time कि मैं बस ऐसे ही छोड़ रही हूँ और I'm just a fraud basically. But like I went ahead, I did that presentation, I nailed it, I got kudos from all my the people that I presented to. So it took me a lot of time to kind of like wrap that around my head कि नहीं, I am qualified to be here. I worked hard. Like मैंने universities में इतनी all nighters मैंने pull किए हैं, वो मुझे सिर्फ मुझे ही पता है कि how hard I worked. I compromised on social life. I did I like a lot of work that went into it that helped me get to this point. So just like having those reminders kind of helped me. And for a long time, I thought, "Okay, acha, imposter syndrome. I have to overcome it, and I have to overcome it." No, you cannot overcome it. You have to manage it. Like so, for me, like when I start feeling like an imposter, okay, acha, am I deserve to be here? Like for example, today, it's a huge platform, and I was thinking, okay, what did I do that like I am getting invited to speak here? But I did a lot of work, and I kind of earned it. And I kind of remind myself that I give myself a pep talk. First of all, okay, nahi Sundas, you deserve to be here. तुमने ये भी किया. So that kind of helps. And then I tell myself कि जो मैंने इतना hard work किया है, जो मैंने universities में all nighters किए हैं, so it's like it helped. और उसके बाद I think what one thing that has really helped me is I am part of PWIC, Pakistani Women in Computing. और उसके अंदर I saw women who are successful, or they basically are Pakistani women. They look like me. They speak the same language as me. और जब मैं उनको देखती हूँ कि they are being so successful in their careers while managing while managing their culture, kids, and everything else. Like if they can do it, then so can I. So like surrounding myself with people like me has helped. And the other thing I have started telling myself is that nobody is perfect, and I'm not gonna be perfect everywhere. I'm gonna make mistakes, and that is completely okay because perfection does not exist. And the last part is like I am a huge fan of celebrating small wins. And I think that because I have started setting milestones instead of like I set goals, but un goals ke piche I set milestones. So for me, like what I started doing, so I have I'm on Instagram, and what I have been using Instagram as is to celebrate my small wins. So for example, if I'm giving a talk, I'll like publish it, I'll share it on Instagram with like, okay, I'm giving a talk today, I did awesome, blah blah blah. And then if I like finish a project at work, I'll talk about it. And that kind of gives me the confidence boosts that like keeps me going. I know I went on a rampant, but like this is like such a personal topic to me because I kind of had to invest a lot of time in it to kind of manage that imposter syndrome part. So now to your second question. Amazon versus Google in terms of the cultural difference. So Amazon, I spent about 6 years. I loved Amazon. I was into it. I loved and hate Amazon. So Amazon was great. I spent 6 years there. I learned a lot. Amazon में culture है कि you fail fast. You learn fast and you fail fast. And my learning curve was like it was pretty steep at Amazon. I learned a lot. I had great manager. I had great teams. But eventually, I realized that I needed to get more industry experience. So I ended up like kind of transitioning to Google. So in terms of the culture, I would say like Google is a little bit. I don't want to say like in a negative way, but it's relaxed in the sense that it's more people focused. There's a lot of emphasis on like having a nice culture, like developing people, and also like having those like perks that will make people feel better, whether that is like free food and stuff like that. And then one example I would like to give here is that at Amazon, my onboarding, when you start, my onboarding was 6 hours. And after that, I was kind of put in a team. I was given projects to kind of work on the projects and learn on the job. Compared to Google, my onboarding was 6 months long. So for that 6 months, they basically gave me space. They said like you're gonna learn in during those 6 months. It's a complicated space. Like that's what I mean when I talk about like they're slightly different. Like I love the Google culture. Like going from Amazon to Google, one thing I started immediately noticing is that when I would meet people at like in corridors or just like my teammate would introduce me to somebody else, one thing that they kept saying is when I would tell them about me, they were like, I love that. I love that. And I'd be like, why are they saying I love that? I just met them. They don't even know me. But that's just the culture there. And now I find myself saying the same thing. Like somebody tells me something, I just say, love that. So yeah, slowly immersing into the nice culture of Google.
It's quite amazing. Like, let's change the track of the conversation now. So, you feel like you are the failure embracer. So, how would you tell people how can they embrace their failures? And what is your biggest, what was your one of the biggest failures that you always had? Any one of them that you'd like to share with us? And what was your takeaway from that failure?
Yeah, definitely. I actually recently gave a talk on embracing failures at the UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles. And my topic was embracing failure. And I personally wanted to talk about it because a lot of the times people only focus on the success part. But when you look at somebody's journey, I don't know if you've seen that visualization, which like it's like your career trajectory is like zigzag. It goes like this. So every bottom slope that you see is kind of failure, and then every upward is a success, then failure, then success, then. But what happens is that a lot of the times people tend to focus on the success and we kind of forget about the failures, and that's why it's like so hard for people like for a new person who is just like starting in an industry or who doesn't have that much experience. If they fail, for them, if they don't have role models to look up to, or if they don't know like pretty much every person fails, then it's kind of like they're just like in their isolation, kind of like beating themselves to it. And so like I will like to talk about like one experience. Like I have had many failures. I can go on about failures. One of the failures that I had is that English is my second language. When I went to school in Pakistan, I went to a Urdu medium school. So after moving to USA, when I decided to go back to school, मैंने सब कुछ उर्दू मीडियम में पढ़ा था. मैथ उर्दू मीडियम में, साइंस उर्दू मीडियम में, सब कुछ उर्दू मीडियम में। और इफ़ यू स्टडी लाइक उर्दू मीडियम में, अगर आप मैथ पढ़ो उसके बाद आपको इंग्लिश मीडियम में पढ़ना पड़े, वो बहुत मुश्किल है। बट लाइक फिर भी लाइक आई काइंड ऑफ लाइक गॉट रैम्प्ड अप ऑन इट। पर जब मैंने बिजनेस स्कूल अप्लाई किया तो बिजनेस स्कूल के लिए दे मेक यू टेक अ राइटिंग असेसमेंट टेस्ट, और उसके अंदर बेसिकली दे गिव यू 2 क्वेश्चंस ऑन द स्पॉट, और आपके पास 90 मिनट्स होते हैं कि यू हैव टू लाइक राइट एन आंसर। और मेरे ग्रेड, आई हैड 4.0 ग्रेड्स जीपीए, और उसके बावजूद मेरा एडमिशन यूनिवर्सिटी वाशिंगटन में नहीं हुआ क्योंकि आई फेल दैट राइटिंग असेसमेंट टेस्ट। दैट वाज अ बिग फेलियर फॉर मी। और फिर मुझे लगा, क्योंकि अगर मैंने आपको स्टोरी बताई अपनी कि 6 लाइक आई वाज स्टे एट होम मॉम फॉर 6 years, और उससे पहले लड़कियां स्कूल में नहीं जाती, तो मुझे लग रहा था कि आई वाज गोना बी दैट ट्रेल ब्लेजर। तो जब वो यूनिवर्सिटी से रिजेक्शन हुआ, तो देन आई वाज लाइक ओके, दिस इज द एंड ऑफ लाइक माय ड्रीम्स, दिस इज द एंड ऑफ माय जर्नी, एंड आई वाज हार्ट ब्रोकन। और वो बहुत थोड़ा सा डिप्रेसिंग टाइम था, क्योंकि मैं इतने लोगों को जानती भी नहीं थी यहाँ यूएस में। तो फ्रेंड सोशल सर्कल भी इतना बड़ा नहीं था। पर उसके बाद लाइक थोड़े दिन गुजर गए, मैंने कहा दिस इज एंड ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, पर थोड़े दिन गुजर गए और दिन गुजर गए, फिर मुझे लगा कि वर्ल्ड तो एंड नहीं हो रहा। यू हैव टू लाइक, आई हैव टू लाइक ट्राई अगेन। तो उसके बाद मैंने एक इंग्लिश ट्यूटर हायर किया, जिससे मैं मिली अगले 6 महीने, लाइक प्रीटी मच एवरी अदर डे। और अब मैंने अपनी इंग्लिश पे काम किया, और उसके बाद मैंने दोबारा अप्लाई किया, और दोबारा मैंने वो इंग्लिश का जो राइटिंग असेसमेंट टेस्ट है वो मैंने दोबारा दिया, और तब फिर मैं पास हो गई और मेरा एडमिशन हो गया। तो दैट वाज लाइक अ फ्रॉम फेलियर टू लाइक गोइंग टू अ सक्सेस, दैट वाज लाइक अ बिग अचीवमेंट फॉर मी। और उससे एक चीज ये हुई कि जब बंदे को एक दफा फेलियर आ जाए और वो आप उसको ओवरकम कर लो, तो आपका थोड़ा सा डर खत्म हो जाता है। तो दैट्स एग्जैक्टली व्हाट हैपेंड टू मी, आई बिकेम रेजिलिएंट। और उसके बाद आई मुझे लगा कि अच्छा, ये अपॉर्चुनिटीज मुझे इतनी मुश्किल से मिली है, तो आई वर्क रियली हार्ड इन यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ वाशिंगटन। आई हैड 4.0 ग्रेड्स, लाइक मैं वहाँ स्टूडेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के साथ भी इन्वॉल्व थी। एक जो वहाँ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन थी, बिजनेस इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी सोसाइटी, उसकी मैं पहले मैं ट्यूटर थी वहाँ पे, फिर मैं प्रेसिडेंट बन गई क्लब की। तो वो मैंने क्लब भी रन किया, साथ साथ पढ़ा भी, साथ साथ बच्चों को भी संभाला घर में। और eventually what ended up happening, it kind of built my story। और फिर जब ग्रेजुएशन का टाइम आया, तो आई अप्लाइड टू लाइक, मुझे जो जो आप ग्रेजुएशन में एक वैलिडिक्टोरियन को सिलेक्ट करते हैं ना, कि जो बंदा एक स्टूडेंट आके स्पीच देगा, so I got selected as the University of Washington valedictorian in 2014, where I gave the speech in front of 3,000 people, और वो भी English में। So that was like a full circle for me, like a girl from like a small town of Pakistan, Faisalabad, जो उर्दू मीडियम स्कूल में गई है, जिस इंग्लिश में जिसने स्ट्रगल की है, पहले उस कोई रिजेक्शन हो चुकी है, वो अब स्टेज पर खड़े होके 3,000 बंदों के आगे शी इज गिविंग अ स्पीच इन इंग्लिश। So that was the day, like man, like that was a full circle for me, like I cried. But that's just to like give you an example. Okay, failure is not like it's not the end of it. um there are like 4 or 5 things that I like to share. So one is that you build a foster a growth mindset. So there's like a fixed mindset. I don't know if you have heard that before. So there are 2 types of people. One is fixed mindset, one is growth mindset. Fixed mindset is people who think that they are born with their abilities, and if they cannot do something, then that's it. Growth mindset are the people who think that they are possibly not built uh, through with like certain abilities, but like they can learn like through like their experiences and stuff. तो अगर आपको फेलियर embrace करना है to move to the next step, you have to foster a growth mindset. अगर आप फेल होते हैं, like try to evaluate कि क्या mistakes हुई हैं, और no failure is not a failure, it's actually a learning opportunity, and that's how you should see it. And the second thing is minimize the risk. Instead of setting big goals, like set small milestones. For example, if you want to land a job at Google, that's your goal. But you need to set a milestone. Like what a milestone could be just getting an interview call from Google. So minimize that risk. And third thing is like make it normal. Talk about it. One of the things that I like to advise people is call it Failure Friday, where you basically get together with your friends and you talk about the failures that you had during that week. And what that does is that it normalizes talking about failures and also kind of builds that resilience. And when you see other people failing and then overcoming it, you kind of have now a role model, and you also are not alone in who is going through that. And then another practical tip is that I like to keep a log of my achievements as well as my failures. So when I'm at the bottom, when I've failed, I would look at my achievements and I'm like, okay, I did this, I did this, I did this. Or when I'm achieving, I'll like the failure list kind of helps me to stay humble and not let it get to my head. And the last thing is like it's all about like learning. Let's say if you're interviewed, ask for feedback, like review it, what like from your failure, try to learn from it. Is there anything that you can do to improve and like do better next time? And I know I went on a rampant answering your questions, but
No,
hopefully
no,
this
it's
was
okay.
helpful.
Yes, it is quite helpful. Next question. Sundas बार बार कह रही है, I have given a talk, I have delivered a talk on this, on that. So can I say that Sundas is a public speaker? Yes or no?
um okay, what is the definition of public speaker? I think anybody is a public speaker, right? You are a public speaker, I am a public speaker. Anybody who's able to speak outside of their house in front of an audience is a public speaker.
Audience is a public speaker.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you can call me public speaker. I think both of us are. I like giving talks. And let me tell you, like for me, my first big talk was that giving a
Oh, please tell
speech
me.
at the graduation like stage. And that after that, I kind of started enjoying it. Like usse pehle, like when you start like jab aap, like there are nerves. There's like stage fright every time you are gonna go present. There is stage fright involved, but I kind of started enjoying it because once you do it and you're able to kind of like deliver it, and then you are basically you're not only overcoming your own fears, but also you're sharing the knowledge with other people who might be looking for inspiration, and your experience might be helping them. And I've had a lot of like fun stories of like public speaking gone wrong versus going like turning around. So one thing that I would like to tell you is that जब मैंने गूगल में स्टार्ट किया, तो गूगल में 1 month in, there was a all hands and I volunteered to speak at that all hands. तो वो ऑल हैंड्स थी बेसिकली 200 लोगों के सामने, और वो सारे मेरी और के बंदे थे, ठीक है। और उन बेसिकली आई डोंट नो मेरे दिमाग में क्या चल रहा था। आई सेड आई एम गोना गिव अ टॉक एंड या लाइक आई एम गोना मेक अ फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन। तो वो साइन अप तो मैंने कर लिया, उसके बाद जो I got so nervous. I tried getting out of it, and I didn't. But then I like started preparing for it. Like the night before, I prepared for it so much. Like I recorded myself on the camera. I like watched it again. I was like, okay, this word doesn't come out right. I took a lot of notes in the presentation, and then on top of it, I got sick. So मेरी आवाज भी बिल्कुल बदल गई थी, बहुत भारी हो गई थी। So the day came, Sara din, like my talk was in the afternoon. All morning I was like so nervous, so nervous. मैं stage पे गई हूँ और slides मैंने देखने शुरू किए क्योंकि there was no dry run. Slides में जो all the slides are messed up और कोई भी note नहीं है उसके बीच में। मैंने कहा कि this is like going bad. ये मेरा जो पहला impression है ना, ये सारा खराब हो जाना है।
Yeah.
But उसके बाद I kind of like pulled myself together. I was like, अच्छा इनको तो कुछ भी नहीं पता था कि मैंने क्या क्या बोलना था इस मेरी अपनी presentation में. They have no idea. So I can just like kind of like I didn't make up stuff, but since I had like prepared एक दिन पहले जो मैंने वीडियो रिकॉर्डिंग कर करके, तो वो थोड़ी सी मेरी प्रेपरेशन हो गई हुई थी। तो फिर मैंने कहा अच्छा like screw the slides. I just like went and gave the talk. और वो मैंने और बीच में मैं it was like kind of like my career journey और बीच में मैं रोने भी लग गई हूँ talk के। I got like so involved in it. तो उसके बाद टॉक खत्म हुई है, 200 बंदे जो मेरी ऑर्ग में हैं, they all stood up and they gave me a
Wow.
standing ovation. And I was like so proud of myself. And so like you know like and they took a lot of inspiration from that. Because there are not a lot of women who have like story like mine, and like being the first female in your family and like breaking through all those barriers and like getting to somewhere. So like people take inspiration from that, and I like sharing it because I like to inspire people. And after that, like after that talk, I was like, okay, I am on the right track, even though if I don't feel like talking, or if I want to back out, like I shouldn't be backing out because it all turned out well, and nobody knew if I skipped a sentence or if I missed something. It's all
Yes.
in my head.
So, any two,
Yeah.
three, four, five tips for any other women or a person sitting there and listening to us to be a public speaker?
Yeah, actually, I wrote down some. Let me see. So, I think number one is that prepare, know your stuff. Uh, the more you are prepared, the less nervous you are. For example, like the talk that we're having right now, I was pretty nervous about it yesterday because this whole week has been like pretty messy, and I hadn't had the chance to prepare for it. And last night I spent like about 2 hours because you sent me 12 questions and then I sent you 12 questions. So there were like 24 questions because I wasn't sure like which questions you were going to ask me. So I kind of sat down and I like made bullet points. I created a Google Doc and I like wrote down everything. And doing that kind of made me feel less nervous. So definitely like prepare, know your stuff, what you're going to talk about. The second thing is like one of my favorites is like practice and like use the camera. Like I like to use the camera, especially when I'm like giving big talks. Like for example, when I was giving a talk at Google or UW, or one of the talks that I gave at the Citizen Foundation. So I did a lot of like camera recordings, and then I will watch myself. And then practice in front of your like family members. I like to practice in front of my kids, who I would think that they don't know that much, but they actually give me really, really good feedback. Um, and the last thing is like, don't be nervous. If you forget something, that is completely fine. The person who is listening to you would never know like what you forgot or what you were planning to say or what you didn't say. So just like it's okay to be nervous. Everybody gets nervous, but like quickly move past it.
Okay. So, apart from your this daytime job with the Google, so what do you do? I have like seen on your profile that you are a career counsel as well. So, how you actually manage all this kind of stuff? And being a mother, obviously, it is quite difficult. I always ask this question to every single woman, that how you balance your life, having this work and home and kids. So this is the
Yeah,
same question to you: how you manage this thing, and why you have chosen to be the career counselor.
sure. So I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's hard. It's very hard. um, but one thing that has helped me, like I'm talking about, like why I'm able to do all that stuff, is because I have that support system. My husband and I were equal partners outside of the home and at home. We like take turns, like with kids' responsibility, household responsibilities. So we kind of had that like equal support system where we support each other, and that kind of leaves both of us time to do other things. And as I said, like मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा लोगों ने help की थी to like मैं जब यूडब में थी, like that was like prime time. यूडब में मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा लोगों ने help की थी, और मुझे तब पता लगा कि there is a power in like having a support system. तो उसके बाद जब मैं कुछ बनी हूँ, कहीं पहुंची हूँ, तो मुझे बस मेरे में ये था कि आई हैव टू रिटर्न द फेवर. लाइक I need to be that support system now for other people. So that's what I started doing. Like when I was at Amazon, I was involved in a lot of like diversity and inclusion initiatives. Google, maybe I am doing like work on diversity. Like I'm just starting out, but I'm like that's my goal. I'm trying to get involved. And then outside of work, I am involved with like two nonprofits, like Pakistani Women in Computing, jisko like who are one of our partners. And I serve on the board as vice chair. And Pakistani Women in Computing has done so much for me that I love getting involved and like giving back to the community, where we are like as Pakistani women in tech can come together and learn together and grow together. And then the second nonprofit that I'm involved in is North Seattle College. And remember when I told you that I started my journey in the community college. So community college, that was the community college that I started it. And now I serve on the board because I want to give back to that college. And to those students, because a lot of the students in that college are like me, who don't have like a traditional background, and they're just trying to like change their careers or get into a field, or like trying to complete their high school diplomas. So I take a lot of satisfaction and like in like helping women and in like helping underprivileged communities. So I've tried to like get myself involved as much as I can. And in terms of like why I chose career counseling is like number one is that I am really good at it. So I like to do that kind of stuff, like help people prepare for interviews, help them give help them review their resumes, help them prepare for their interviews. So I chose to become a career counselor after I started Google, because I realized now that I have a little bit more time on my hands, that I don't work at Amazon. And I was starting to get a lot of interest from people who wanted to be mentored, and I always wanted to start something on the side. So I thought this would be a perfect option to provide my for helping other people, and also like having a side hustle that I can kind of like use my spare time on. Now that being said, I am very organized in the sense like how much time I spent. I only dedicate an hour a week to my side hustle. So the max I kind of like provide career counseling is 2 people a week. And having that kind of organizations and having that organization kind of allows me to be involved with like multiple things, whether that is at work or outside.
Okay, so any एडवाइस फॉर अदर वुमेन हु आर वाचिंग अस कि अगर वो भी अपने करियर में कोई ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन चाहती हैं, सो आप उनको क्या एडवाइस करोगे?
मैं उनको एडवाइस करूंगी कि वन इज बी कॉन्फिडेंट, speak up for what you want, and build that support system around you, like whether those are family members, whether those are your colleagues, or those are your friends. um, because I'll tell you, like in tech, we know that it's a male dominated field. So again, like there are things that women can do, but I personally think the burden should not be on women. I think what we need is allies, and we need sponsors. And we know that tech is a male dominated field, and the males who are already there, or people who are already there, they should create space for women and kind of be sponsored. There's a term called women are over mentored and under sponsored. I don't know if you have heard that before. So what women need is actually we need more sponsors, people who are willing to create space for us and kind of like help and support us, whether those are like people like our life partners or people at work. And the last thing I want to say is that is a quote, one of my favorite quotes. One of the best career decisions you will ever make is choosing a right partner. So choose a right partner. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Okay, thank you. This is it from my side. Now we will move towards the live questions that we have from this live fireside chat. So first question is, would you move back to Pakistan?
Would I move back to Pakistan? Yes, I would. But my life is here now. Um, I would definitely move back to Pakistan when my kids are out of school. But right now they are both like in middle schools. Let's say if they are in college, eventually I'll think of moving back to Pakistan. I do want to give back to, I feel like I am giving back to Pakistan while staying here, but I know I can definitely do more if I go back there. But that doesn't mean that I have to go back to keep giving back to my community, right? I can do a lot of things from here, like what I'm doing right now. But no, I would definitely move to Pakistan if that's an option.
Okay, what are the opportunities for women in tech in the new world of remote jobs?
um, New opportunities. Um, could you like be more specific? Like what kind of new opportunities? Like new fields, or
Maybe you can answer in terms of your own field, data science, if you
Yeah, I
can.
can answer definitely. So in terms of like the new opportunities, I think I'm not sure about the new, but I know there are tons of opportunities, especially in the data science. There are so many like fields within data science that you can pursue: machine learning, AI, generalist data scientists in analytics. And this is like one of the growing fields, and companies are now starting to kind of recognize the value of the data people. So a lot of companies are now hiring. I know there's a lot of, when I left Amazon, there was a lot of work going on to kind of further define the data science job family, further define the data analyst job family. So companies are now kind of realizing and like putting in resources to either like define that what that space looks like, and also kind of like create opportunities and create like roles in their companies or in their teams. So like data science is definitely one of the growing fields. I highly recommend it, but just give you a disclaimer, I do have love and hate relationship with it, so you might as well.
Okay, next question. How can someone from Pakistan equip themselves to get a job at Google?
That's an interesting question. I just started at Google 6 months ago, so I'll be blunt that I don't know the answer to that. I will answer in respect to like how you can build your profile to attract the big companies in general. So first of all is like build your profile. Do like showcase that you actually know what you want, is you have actually done the work, whether that is through your academics or whether that is through your actual work or whether that is through your side projects. Like show your passion, show your desire to work in the field. And the second thing is that a lot of people don't do is network. I think in the I don't want to say Pakistani people, but I would speak like from the women side, because uh, people tend not to network. There is so much value in networking. When I started, I had zero people in my network. And through like either like going to events or like meeting people online or like just cold messaging them on LinkedIn, I have built a network for myself that I would know people in like all the different fields. So when I, let's say tomorrow, if I want to work at Walmart or if I want to work somewhere else, I will have somebody who can guide me through that process. So build your network, like have a stellar profile, but also like build your network. So you, and also like leverage your network. Find a mentor. And I know like a lot of the times, and I'm going to complain a little bit, um, that like learn how to use a mentor. Like don't just ask like how can I move to this country or how can I move to this country. Ask more valuable questions, and um, like that shows that you're actually willing to put in the work and not looking for an easy answer.
Okay, there is a question. What are some of the upward trends for the new tech jobs?
I think this is similar to the last question that we answered, that AI is pretty like it's growing field. Like data science in general is a growing field, that companies are now realizing the value of data and how there is so much data is there, but there's not enough people who can turn that data into information. So I see like a lot of growth in the data science job family in the upcoming years.
Okay, there's another question from Miss Moazima. What are your favorite learning resources to keep your skills up to date?
I love taking online courses. And I would admit that I am horrible at it. I'll start taking it, but then I will not finish it. But even the part that I'm able to finish, I learn from it. I see myself as a visual learner, and I like kind of like taking those courses, whether those are like Coursera. Harvard has a bunch of free online courses. So I like those resources, but my personal favorite is not an online resource, but actually working on the job. And I think that's something that I picked up from Amazon, because you are kind of like thrown into the problem and then you figure out on your own, like through Google. And then you basically apply it. So that, I think Amazon has instilled that kind of learning behavior in me, where I like to be thrown into things and then I figure it out and then I do it while I learn.
Okay. Mr. Sharol Nawaz is asking how to find the right person for networking in these companies and how to start with networking.
Yeah, so I can talk about like how to find people in the network. So I will give you an example. So I used to send, I don't do that anymore, but when I started in the industry, I didn't have a lot of connections. So I would send cold messages to people on LinkedIn. And you don't like, I think what people get wrong is that there is a difference in the right cold message and in the wrong cold message. I have seen, like, now I'm on the receiving end, I have seen people who basically copy paste the same text and send it to like everybody, and everybody they're sending the connection request to, or they want to be connected to. What you need to do, you need to like kind of spend time understanding how that person can provide value to you. And then you, in your message, you kind of need to like showcase that you are, that is the right person, who can like give you feedback, or who can like who is like suitable to meeting with you. So I'll tell you, like, my first contact at Google was through a cold message that I sent on LinkedIn. And that cold message, like, I don't know what, like, looking back, I kind of know what I did right, but at that time I wasn't that well versed in like sending cold messages. So what I actually did at that cold message, I basically studied that person's profile on LinkedIn, because on LinkedIn you have pretty much everything, like the person's history. And I saw that person went to the same university that I went to. And then I looked at their career journey and I said, hey, Mr. X, like, I noticed that you graduated from University of Washington. I'm also like UW alumni. And I also noticed like your career journey is like, has been like pretty inspiring. And like I gave like certain examples from it. And I kind of made that person feel that they are the right person to give me feedback and meet up with me. And that conversation, that cold message, ended up in a coffee chat conversation where that person just sat down and guided me on like through the whole Google interview process. So going back to the original question is, build your network, but don't just like do a cookie cutter approach where you just copy paste and like send messages to everybody that you meet. Do some research, do your homework, and then reach out to them. And let's say when this whole COVID thing is over, when we're meeting in person, it's very hard to like I can tell you, like, it's pretty hard to like approach new people that you don't know. But I think going through business school, that was one of the things that they kind of forced us to do, so I kind of got better at it. But like in those conversations, like feel like approach them and have your elevator pitch ready. And I have written my elevator pitch. I cover it in 90 seconds. So when somebody asks me like, okay, tell me about yourself, I have perfectly phrased sentences that I'm going to say, and I'm going to leave a good impression on the person that I'm talking to.
Okay. Next question is from Miss Rabia Shah, that please share some time management skills. I think it should be tips.
Yes. So one thing, time management. So before I go into before I start sharing my tips, disclaimer: I am not the most organized person, and so you'll be surprised because you said like I do so many things, but you'd be surprised. I hate organizing, and I'm not the most organized. But there are certain things that I'm very organized about, like my 9 to 5 schedule. I am very organized about that. Um, one of my favorite things that I like to do is I use my calendar to put time on it. For example, if like a week before, and again, like I'm not very organized. If you want to like organization tips, talk to Mozma. She is great at it. But what I like to do is lightweight organization. A week before, I would kind of like go through my calendar, only 9 to 5, where I would say, okay, this is the time that I'm going to work on project X. This is the time, this is 1 hour I'm going to uh, take this training. This is the time that I'm going to work out. This is the time that I'm going to pray. So like those are the things, those are the kind of like the reminders. Like having it on the calendar kind of helps me. Um, so again, like I'm not the most organized person, but if you just want to do the bare minimum, like try the calendar technique. It works for me wonders, and it might work for you as well.
Okay, Miss Rabia Shah is again asking question that some good networking events in Pakistan, if you can recommend her some.
Yeah, so you are at the right platform. You're already networking at the Global Pakistan Tech Summit. So I think this is a great first start. What you can do is like I'm just going to share some practical tips. While you are on the chat, one way to go about is like see everybody who is who has commented or who has liked, connect with them, send them LinkedIn requests. That's something that you can do today. In terms of like additional events and like additional sessions, like follow these amazing organizations, like follow Ijad Labs, follow Tech Valley, follow Pakistani Women in Computing. I know like most of us are in most of the cities in Pakistan, and right now because of COVID there are like online events, but eventually inshallah there will be like in-person events that you can participate and meet with like-minded people and build that network and that support circle.
So far, there is no question in the chat. Okay, you are like talking about the social media. I want to ask a question here. So, any tips how to manage your social media perfectly?
In terms of like social media, there are so many social media. But I will talk about my favorites. I love
Yes.
LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn is my number one. The second is Instagram. I love LinkedIn because it is the one that brings me money. um, then and having that access to talent and people from all across the industry, I think that's just amazing. And I don't post that much, but I'll post periodically. But what I've started noticing is that people who either don't interact or don't like, they are also watching. Like one example is that like my previous manager at Amazon, um, he never likes my stuff. He never like comments, like once in a blue moon. Last week, he reached out to me. He said, I have this person who is looking for like career coaching. And I know that you post a lot of stuff on LinkedIn about it. And I wanted to connect the two of you. So that's the power of LinkedIn. And for Instagram, I think Instagram is kind of like for my personal hobby, kind of feel good platform where I just like post like inspirational stuff. And I also like, as I said like earlier, that I like to talk about my small wins, and I also talk about like my failures. And that helps like people like put things, it's not just like I don't just like showcase the good part, but I try to showcase the bad part, and that people take inspiration from that. And I was actually surprised last week. I actually did a fundraiser on Instagram, and I was able to raise $1,112 for Black Lives Matter initiative. And I was surprised. I surprised myself that this is the power of social media. Most of my clients are from like LinkedIn and Instagram. I never paid for any marketing. So I'm just telling you my secrets now. So I love being involved in these platforms. It's not just for me, but I actually get something out of it. And I'm able to connect with so many people through LinkedIn and Instagram. One of the
Thank.
lady, actually, I'll give you an example. One of the girl who I met through Instagram is now part of Pakistani Women in Computing. And there is this big conference called Grace Hopper Celebration, which is like a global tech conference, 3-day conference that happens in Orlando or Houston. So after that lady got connected with PWIC, she learned about Grace Upper Celebration. She learned that there was a scholarship going on, and she applied for that scholarship, and now she actually got that scholarship. So there's so much power, and it's like amazing to see how things unfold. And like social media, I know they're like good and bad, but I try to focus on the good for the most part.
It's perfect. Good. Thank you so much. Quite elaborated in a good way. We already have like done with our time. It's 9:56 on the clock, and there are no more questions on the live chat. So thank you so much, everyone, that you have been listening to us since an hour. And thank you so much, Sundas. It was very good and interactive talking to you. I just really love that. Truly love that.
Thank you. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for your
um,
time.
yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure. I think you did an amazing job. And thank you for all the questions. I hope this was useful and I didn't ramble too much, which I tend to do after coffee. But
No, no, it was quite good and amazing. Thank you so much.
awesome. Awesome.
See you again, inshallah. Okay.
Inshallah. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.